Let's get the thoughts in of Stephen Timms, the Labour MP for East Ham and Shadow Employment Minister as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
And being in East Ham, I would have thought a number of your constituents potentially affected by this.
They very much are, yes. I mean, we've always accepted the principle of the benefit cap. We think it is right, there should be an upper limit. But the point that we've made is that it makes absolutely no sense to have the cap set at the same level in every part of the country, because if it's the right level in a part of the country where rents are relatively low, it can't work in other places where rents are much higher. And as you say, I'm an MP in London. The government says that 7,000 households in London are going to lose over £100 a week as a result of the cap coming in, and it's not at all clear what those 7,000 households are now to do. In
all honesty, I'm not at all clear, though, as to what you would do then as an alternative.
Well, have a level of cap which reflects the level of rents in the area.
And what would that be? How would it be set?
It would be set on the basis of, I think, probably at a London-wide level, based on the fact that rents in London are so much higher. I haven't done the calculation to work out what the amount would be. But at the moment, we've got a cap which in many parts of the country has exactly the effect the government intends, which is that only when benefit payments are exceptionally high will people be affected, whereas in London, very large numbers of people are affected, and a lot of people are affected to a big extent. And there's
you talk about the broad principle being something that you support, and it has a wide support if the texts and the communications we're getting this morning is anything to go by. Yeah. So it's all very well to say, OK, in principle, but we'd do something different. I'm just not sure how you introduce a system that is simple and effective and easy to understand and cost effective in terms of rolling it out, when you yourself, you say you haven't even done the calculations yet.
Well, I think the case we've made consistently is that if the cap is set at the right level, £500 a week, in parts of the country where rents are relatively low, that can't be the right level in places where rents are high, unless the aim is to force people, large numbers of people, out of places like London.
OK, let me bring in Matt, who's in York. Matt's not his real name, though. Good morning.
Morning.
What would you like to say? And perhaps you might want to address some of your points to Stephen Timms.
Yeah, well, I just think, to be honest, I've been listening to what he said, and I think that's just a ridiculous idea. I mean, how could you manage that properly? I mean, from my experience, but I've worked ever since I left school, right? And my brother, which is divided the family, he lives five doors away from me. He earns over £250 a month more than what I do. So can you understand where I'm coming from? Everything that when we discuss this, this has been going on long before the Tory government. Whenever a Labour MP comes on, all they try to do is spin it into a political argument against what we would do, what we wouldn't do, and we've thought of this and we've thought of that. That's a ridiculous statement. What you said. How are you going to be able to manage that properly if you did that?
Well, I mean, in the same way that similar things are managed at the moment, the system can take account of the fact.
So let me counter that then, Steve. Right. So let's say you're going to get everyone moving out of London because they can't afford to live. Let me tell you this. The guy said that he had the figures perfect, didn't he? 2.5 million pound. 2.5 million people out of work. Right. Let's be honest. Right. At least half of those people are idle. And there are idle layabouts. They just can't be bothered to work. I'm sorry, it's a fact. And I know there's people in destitution, people who are poor, they can't afford, and I feel sorry for those people. But a majority of the people have took the lag based on Labour principles when it came to the handout and the benefit policy. And that's what it boils down to. And I tell you now, if you're not saying that people are going to move out of London to move north because they'll have to move to a town where it's cheaper to live, right? God forbid. Let's spin it. So let's say if they do go ahead with it, you're going to say that all the people from the north are going to move into London because they'll have more. Just what I mean. If they're going to get more money because they live in London on the benefits, you'll get people moving into London and moving down south.
Let's just make the point to you that I recently organised a jobs fair at West Ham Football Ground in my constituency We had about 700 people turn up looking for a job, people absolutely desperate to work, wanting any opportunity they can find, willing to do anything at all they can to get into work. And the people I meet who are out of work, the vast majority of them do want a job. They really want a job. I completely agree that if people don't want a job and are not willing to take up opportunities when they are offered to them, then they should be penalised for that. That's absolutely right. But the vast majority of people that I meet, and certainly people in the constituency I represent, want work, want the opportunity to take up a job.
Of course.
When it's provided to them, they grab it.
Let's just get the final word from Matt. Go on.
Yeah, let's come in there, because this is what MPs do. They go on and on and on. They talk really, really well. They're great orators and stuff like that, right? Listen, the thing is this, right? If push came to shove, right, and they were going to lose the benefit or get a job, you know, there's half the people that are unemployed at the moment would get a job. The people that you've met at West Ham, they're the ones who want to strive, want to work, and they can't find a work.
Yeah.
And it is
well, that's why we're arguing for a job guarantee policy, where we will make sure people are offered a job, and then if their benefit stops. Once the job has been offered, benefit stops.
All right, thank you, Stephen Timms. Thanks for your contribution this morning. Labour MP for East Ham and Shadow Employment Minister. Thank you, Matt, as well. Goodbye to you for the time being. We've got Mark in Grimsby. Morning, Mark.
Morning.
And it's probably worth just pointing out the reason we're talking, or the numbers that we're talking about here, £500 a week, which is £26,000 a year. That is no more than the average earning of a working household after tax. Now, if you're talking about gross, that's around about the £35,000 a year mark. Now, Matt in York referred to idle layabouts. Mark, are you one of those?
No, Matt in York has probably never been. I've been unemployed for 7 months now. My total income, including what I get paid for rent, JSA, plus £20 a week GLA, amounts to $8,336. Now, I want to work because even under minimum wage, my top line would be $12,875.
So you're nowhere near this benefit cap?
No, so where people think, oh yeah, everybody's well off on benefits, they're totally wrong. And another fallacy as well is, people seem to think that I get all my bills paid for me. I don't. I only get my rent. I've got to pay my electricity, everything. Now, I am not a layabout. In 38 years, well, 30-odd years, I've been unemployed for a total, added all up, a total of 2 years. I'm finding it hard to get a job now. I want a job, you know. I'm applying for loads a week. Grimsby is not an easy place to get a job in.
No, I'm sure that's the case. And Mark, do you agree then with the benefits cap in principle?
Yeah.
You do? You do support that idea?
But what, you know, it's quite clear that, you know, the majority of benefits, especially down south, is going on rent. Now, something has to be done about the landlords, you know, because it's quite clearly they're on a big earner, you know, private landlords. 3 years ago, when I first come out unemployed, I lived in private rented. Now, the council only paid £70 towards my rent. I had to top that up with what I got, you know, off JSA. Now, I took the decision to move into local housing, you know, Shoreline, as it is up here. Now, which now, you know, my rent at £74 a week gets paid. You know,
just give us an idea, Mark, because you say, you know, Grimsby, not an easy place to find work. And Ian Duncan-Smith this morning was saying this is going to be what incentivises people to get back out there, to perhaps engage in some kind of training, to find a job.
Yeah, it's, you know, they go on about training as well. But I went on a training course between, you know, the jobs lately have become temporary seasonal. You know, it's all factory work up here.
Yeah.
Now, I went on a computer course, but I was forced to come off it. Well, the people doing the transfer, you can't do this because you keep counting. But I have to keep counting because the job centre said, you've got to go with this agency, even though they were only offering me a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there. You know, so these training courses, yes, they send you on it, but immediately you have to come off them because you've got to take a job which might only last 2 weeks.
All right, thank you very much, Mark, for all of that. Mark in Grimsby, 0500 909 693. We'll see if we can sort that out. Let's go to Derek in Cambridge instead. Morning, Derek.
Good morning.
What about this cap then? Is it fair?
It depends upon whose view you're looking for. If it's the taxpayer's view, is it fair? The answer would be no. If it's the beneficiaries, the answer would be yes.
Why not fair then from the taxpayer's point of view?
Because very simply, you've got a personal allowance of 10 grand per person, and if 2 people are working, that's 20 grand. Here you are then offering 26 grand before tax to these people who don't do a damn thing.
So you said
and all they do is produce children.
Too high then? Is that what you're saying?
More than. I would be very happy if it went down to half.
£15,000? Is that the kind of mark you're looking at?
Yeah,
Less
15
than that?
grand would be more than adequate. And if you can't make your way on 15 grand, then tough.
Derek, thank you very much. Paul, we've got 30 seconds left. What do you want to say?
Basically, just quickly, that I earn about £32,000 a year. I've got family members who earn about, I don't know, £700 a month, but they get exactly the same amount in total income than I do through benefits. They get given a house that's probably worth about £130,000 on, open market, and it's just a joke. They should be getting a lot less. It's like the previous person said, all about essentials. A lot of things aren't essential anymore. It's just your rent, your electric, your water, and that's what's essential.
All right, Paul.
Food.
Thank you very much. You summed it up very well. Thank you, Paul in Cornwall. Thanks.